Alright people, what's happening? Good weather today, man. Fucking see when I was walking out of my class, honestly I had this moment where I was just so appreciative of being free and like being able to go to my class and just living my life in a way that I've never done before. And it was strange because this is, you're gonna laugh at this, right? I heard birds chirping, right? See, like just normal birds chirping, right? And it made me think of the jail. You don't hear that in jail. All you ever hear is fucking seagulls squawking. It does your fucking nut in, man. I've heard mad stories about guys fucking feeding them fucking shit to hurt them and all. Like, I don't know if it's like putting bicarb in breed and rolling it up and fucking giving it to them so it's like they blow up and all this, like, and putting razor blades on a line and throwing it out with something on it so as it catches it in its mouth and all. Like, I wouldn't do shit like that obviously, but I would rather put up with her squawking, to be honest. But wow, man, it just made me think, like, fucking hell, man, this is brilliant. Just she's just walking down the street, going about your business and just being normal and whatever. It just made me see how far I've come and how far I could go in life. Like, I don't like even saying that, but like how far I could go. But to be fair, I've already came like a long way. Do you know what I mean? And I have a lot of gratitude for that. So I do. Like, just wee things, like, probably if you've never been jail before and you watch this channel, probably things you do every day that you don't even think it. Like fucking just sitting on your couch watching Netflix, right? Excuse me. Like, see, when I'm doing things like that, I have these moments, like a light bulb moment where it just comes on and goes, man, you're fuck. Like, even sitting when I was eating my dinner earlier, I was sitting going, here, like, you'd be eating shit in there, do you know what I mean? Like, just fucking. I'm just so glad that I broke free for the change, but I'm not going to lie, there's still this kind of psychological aspect to it where I still feel like I'm tied to it. And what I mean by that is, even though I'm not on licence, it still feels that I'm on licence. And what I mean by that is, see, the nature of my offending between, say, the ages of like 13, 14 up to early 20s, right? To me, it feels like because of the seriousness of that and the size of the sentences and all that kind of shit, it feels like because the convictions will never be spent, if I ever found myself back in court, no matter what it was for, I wouldn't get any leniency. So it kind of feels like I'm still got one foot in that, if you get me, psychologically. But um, it's just a fucking, like, I used to have nightmares all the time about jail, getting murdered in jail and all that. It was fucking weird, mate. I've not had one for a while, but hopefully they're kind of dissipating now. Know what I mean? Now that I'm out and fucking just living and all that. So, aye, that's that. So, I noticed a couple of things in the papers recently that I'm going to do stories on, right? Is like knife related stuff, right? And it made me think back to the first time that I ever got stabbed, right? Oh, so when I say first time, what I mean, but it's happened more than once, right? So, uh, I was I was only like 14, and I was drinking with my older cousin, Robert. He was like 4 or 5 year older than me, and he was for the Gorbals, right? But he didn't hang about down there or nothing. He'd come up my bit to his mum was my dad's sister. He would come up, and because he was like fucking like 18 or whatever, he could go and buy booze. So he would go into the shop for all us, like me, my bra, him, his bra. Uh, we'd fucking we would just sit in the house playing tunes, getting steaming and all that shit, right? He wasn't really he was never into gang fighting or anything. He'd been in fights and all that, but he was never into, like, see, like gang fighting, like the kind of shit I was doing or whatever, right? So he come up one time to my auntie's house. She'd passed away by this time, but and I went up, man. Fucking it was really warm that day. It was, in fact, it was May 1997, so it's what the day, the 1st or the 2nd of May, right? So quite a bit ago, 20, 26, 7 years ago, right? This month. And there was this area where man he lived, there was like two groups of youths who were involved in gang fighting. One group was your pals, and the other group was ones we were got to hurt if any's ever kinda got their horns on them, and I dare say vice versa. Not him. And my cousin Robert's younger brother, um, he was pals with both sides, and that just didn't sit right with me at the time. When back then, especially, like even now, like if you're my pal, like, or if you say you've got my, or that shit, I don't mean got my back like gonna back me up and all that pish. I mean got my best interests at heart. If I see you talking to somebody who I know doesn't have my best interests at heart, that's gonna, like, now I would probably just keep it in the back of my mind and would maybe keep you at arm's length. But back then, something was getting said about that, right? That just wouldn't get left. So I remember, right, we were all sitting boozing in the living room, and one of the boys who we were looking for, he lived in the same street as my cousin, right? And where my auntie's house was, right? He lived in the same street, and so we're all fucking. But I was pissed, man. I mean, I was steaming. I don't mean like fawning about, but I mean, I was fucking mad with it. Right? I'm only 14, and we were all sitting fucking blah blah blah, and somebody looked out the window and said, "There's so and so, right? These three these cunts that we were about to give it to, right?" So we've all ran out the house and fucking chased them, but obviously they've busted. And then went back to the house, sitting getting steaming again, and they've fucking back up. They must have went back out and then came back. So we've all fucking chased them, and I remember like the see when we're chasing them up the stairs, like the stairs were that kind of narrow, like we're fucking. I was falling up the stairs and everything, man. Below told me, and they got to the safety of the house. It was a tap flaring, all right. It was like say 4 flights of stairs, and we've came out, and the boy who I was got to fucking do, man, his mom was shouting abuse at me for the window, and I was just gaining it back, right? I was like, fucking send your boy down, I'll fucking kill him, see all that shit out my nut, right? And so this is the year after my dad died, right? Like a year after it. And there was just no controlling me at all, man. Do you know what I mean? I think I would have had to have had an exorcism to be pretty honest. Um, and while I'm arguing with her, see my cousin, no Robert, my cousin Robert's younger brother, he's fucking, he's pure in my face, right? He's the same age as me, but he's passed away now, right? Um, he was pure in my face and all that, like, you fucking daft, you better fuck up, you fat prick, all that shit, right? And me and him have been arguing, right? So, I wouldn't have said he was a fighter or anything, but like he could throw punches, you know what I mean? So he started flying punches at me, and I was pure goading him. I was heavy goading him. I was like, your punches are shite, blah 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 blah. I was fucking wrecked, man. So we went back into my auntie's house, right? We're all sitting drinking again, and me and him just started arguing because it's just playing in my head like you're siding with people who would basically fucking break my fucking teeth if they could get a chance, get me in the right place at the right time, and you're fucking sticking up for him. That was just my train of thought at the time. Um, is what it is, innit? Know what I mean? It's like black. It was black and white back then. Know what I mean? You're either are or you're not. One of the ones. Um, uh, and I remember he punched me in the living room, right, and I'm sitting there drinking, and I started laughing. I said, punch me again, and they done it again, right, and I thought, see if you punch me one more time. I don't even know why I said this. I said, see if you punch me one more time, I'm getting in that kitchen to get a dagger and I'm putting it right through you, man. And he done it again, and I just walked into the kitchen and opened the kitchen drawer and took out the biggest steak knife that I could fucking find. It was like this big mad serrated fucking thing anyway, man. It's a big fucking like shark's teeth, you know what I mean? And I've walked out of the kitchen and I've ran at him. But see, I've ran at him, he's da fucking sweeped us or something, like decked us, right? And I've landed in the flare, like landed on my back, but then seeing I've done that and sat up, man, he's picked my knife up and ran around just boom, right in my fucking head, my forearm, right? And that's how when I was showing you that scar, like there, and it's came out here, right? So this is what I keep explaining to people who trying to explain to people who carry knives, right? How one time that this woman who worked for the Metropolitan Police, she's worked up here as well, right? Quite a well-known campaigner against knife crime and all that stuff. She said, see the amount of murder scenes I've been to where the person who died was killed using with his own knife, right? So this is what I'm trying to point out here. You imagine that didn't go in my arm, that went fucking right in here, right through here. Anywhere you've got a vital artery, something vital, if you hit it, man, you're gone. There's no fucking rewind. There's no stop and start again. Oh, I wasn't ready. Gives a chance. Not, no, mate, like, this is it. Your life is fucking flashing before your eyes, man. Do you know what I mean? So this is how sometimes when I do videos, I try and, it's not to glorify any of this shit. There's what's glorious about being 14-year-old and having to go to hospital to get 80 fucking stitches, microsurgery in your forearm. Still get tingling up and down that arm to this day, and also because of like the state mind I was telling you, I think I did a video about it, my fingers. Fucking tendons were severed, which was also my own fault. That reckless. I did also had no concern for my safety, and never mind yours. If I had no concern for my own safety, if I'm putting myself in situations where I could quite possibly die, what does that say that I would think about you? Do you know what I mean? That's fucked up. That's a fucked up state to be in. And I guarantee you there's kids out there right now, teenagers, man, that maybe mum and dad got addiction issues, maybe their mum and dad fucked off, or they're not giving a fuck about them, they're not investing any time into the kids, and it's just got to happen and happen and happen. It was here knife crime was here long before I showed up, and it'll probably be here sadly long after I'm gone, do you know what I mean? But I was talking to somebody the other day, right? An ex-prison officer who I knew for an SPS jail. He doesn't work in the SPS anymore. And he said to me, I bet you never thought you'd be sitting doing this, huh? And I was like, no, I thought I was getting out, go to uni, do my PhD and fucking end up with a job in some mad think tank somewhere. That might still happen. Still like it to happen, but right now I'm just fucking sidetracked with fucking being a dad, going to fucking self-defence classes and living my life, trying to catch up in the past fucking 8 years I missed out, well, the recall that I done, and like doing all this podcast and shit, doing videos and all that, but it's like I do still hear things about people carrying blades and all that, and I think I seen something in around my area, right, and you know these wee guys only carrying these knives to use them, but there's gonna come a point where they will, or they'll pull it out on somebody who's got to take it off them, and basically what happened to me when I was 14 is probably going to happen to you, but are you going to get it in the arm where you're not going to, aye, fucking, it's still an injury and all that, but you got to take a chance. I would advise you not to, because I could guarantee you in that split second after that knife hits you in the heart or the fucking jugular, you know what's about to happen. I could guarantee you that. And you're just gonna wish you could rewind, turn back the fucking clock, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I was just lucky that day. I was just so fucking lucky that my cousin didn't put that blade through my heart. And to go back to that day, after he had done that, his dad dragged him in the fucking kitchen and held the door shut, right? And I had actually ripped the blade out in my arm, and I was fucking, see like they mad, because it's a council house, right? See like, this was like 1997, so see like the door, you know how if you punched a hole through the door, it looks like it's like the, don't want to say it, like, you ever seen the inside of like an egg box? It's like the mad fucking shape. No a pentagon or a hexagon, something like one of them mad geometrical shapes like that, but all in it like cardboard. That's what was in this door, right? And I was fucking like Jack Nicholson out The Shining, like, here's Johnny, just fucking stabbing this door, going crazy, man. But obviously a couple of my lassie cousins, one of them's phoned an ambulance, because this wasn't mobile phone days, this was landlines and fucking phone boxes, you know what I mean? And to think, I went to hospital on my own, no adult with me, in an ambulance with a fucking stab wound that basically went straight through my forearm. That's so sad. Like, imagine not even having a fucking. Well, my dad was dead at this point, and I didn't give a fuck or a shit about my so called mum, know what I mean? But she wasn't even on the scene anyway. But, like, my gran didn't come and see me, like, my grandpa, nobody, none of them, like, came running up to hospital to make sure I was alright. And that's not to say that they didn't care about me, it was just, I think they just knew, man, like, there's got to be no stopping him. Something's, the only thing that's got to stop him is a life sentence or death. And to be thinking that about a 14-year-old boy, like when I was 14, I thought I was 40. Do you know what I'm talking about? But then I seen something, and I think it was the uh, Evening Times, whatever the fuck, right, Glasgow paper. It was yesterday or the day before, some wee 14, 13-year-old boy get fucking stabbed in a train station again or something. And I'm sitting thinking, man, see that was my son on either side of that shit, I just would go ballistic, mate. Um, and I know my son's not gonna grow up to perpetrate knife crime, because I've sat him down and explained to him and showed him the scars and fucking all this shit. Because like I've got them in all different. There's no pure severe ones, but like just like I always used to say it in Pullman and all, like, never trust a cunt for Glasgow with no scars on the back of his head, because I found in Pullman, see, almost every cunt's came for like round here, round wherever, like or Glasgow and all that, like, or like just round like the outsides. They've all got scars on the back of their head for bottles, bricks, fucking whatever. And I used to say, like, see like cunts when they say the gang fight not, and they've not got a scratch on them, and I'm like, where were you doing this, mate? Do you know what I mean? Like, that was just my attitude then. Fucking stupid, man, do you know what I mean? But I had no direction then, do you know what I mean? I didn't have any direction at all for fucking, I just wanted to grow up to cause fucking mayhem, know what I mean? But that was fucking, I went to hospital that time, and they had to keep me in for like fucking 3 or 4 days to get an operation and all that, and the only person that came up to see me was my girlfriend and her ma, the lassie I was seeing at the time, and her ma. And then one time she came up with her pal. And fucking, I hate hospitals, man. They remind me of, I don't know. No, to me they're almost like the representation of you're checking out or something seriously fucking wrong with you, you know what I mean? So it's like even just the mental weight of being in one of these places is just almost too much to bear, do you know what I'm talking about? But I remember as soon as I got to the hospital, um, got the bus home for the Victoria Infirmary, back up to where this happened, started drinking again, like nothing had happened, sitting with my cousin, fucked up in it. Fucking madness, man. And this is the thing with like a lot of knife crime and that as well. It's almost always somebody you know in it. Do you know what I mean? But maybe being family's a bit. It's a bit of a weird one. People be like, "Fuck's sake, Chris, man, you get stabbed off your cousin." Well, like, aye, I was got to stab him first, but wasn't I? So, and I remember he always used to say to me, "I feel so guilty about that. I feel so guilty about that." And I'm like, why? I was wrecked at my nut and got to probably date to you first. So maybe it worked out. It worked out for the two of us. It's as stupid as it sounds, because who's to say if I'd have done it to him, I wouldn't have killed him and I'd be just getting out the new, or if I was getting out. Do you know what I mean? So it's just mad to look back on it all and think that I survived all that, and I don't know, like I'm still fucking, like, I don't know, like functioning. Do you know what I mean? Because that was the first time like ever. And I always say that I was a victim of knife crime before I became a perpetrator, but I don't like to describe myself as a victim for the sole purpose that I've committed violent offences on people after that and went to prison for it. So I don't feel I have the right to describe myself as a victim of knife crime. Do you know what I mean? Like, it'd like being a gunslinger and then fucking try to get somebody shot you. Like, mate, you're walking about with a gun and you're challenging cunts to a duel, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of that mentality in it. Do you know what I mean? And this is all. This mentality just isn't exclusive to Glasgow or fucking Edinburgh or fucking Manchester. This is nationwide, man. This is all the UK, and obviously it'll be worse in bigger built up areas. Do you know what I mean? But in areas where there's fucking just it's just pure impoverished, and there's no a lot of opportunities and things for people to do and get involved in and all that. So but see where I live, right? It isn't that bad, right? See when like we were wee guys, man, it was probably the peak of the shit. Do you know what I mean? It was just the absolute fucking crazy the shit. Some of the shit we got away with. Do you know what I mean? And it was funny because I remember, was it this prison officer? I think it was a prison officer. It was a prison officer, a cop, right? But I think it was a prison officer said to me, "You need to be lucky all the time. We only have to be lucky one time." And I says, "Right, well, let me ask you this. I've had two prison sentences my whole life. Do you think I've only committed two crimes?" Do you know what I mean? Basically saying, "Aye, we only caught me twice for like 2,000 things I've done, 2 million things I've whatever the fuck, right? I wasn't counting, but it's like that kind of it ties in with all this other shit I'm talking about, like idolising people who are or looking up to people who have got the motors and they're doing this and doing that. And listen, man, where does that life end? It ends in a jail cell or at the end of a gun or a knife. Do you know what I mean? That's a fact. Um, and I'm not going to sit here and like preach about how evil it is and all that. At the end of the day, man, right? it is what it is. But and I was I was that was what I wanted for myself, to be that, to live that life. But the longer I spent in jail and realised what it was costing me, and what I mean by that is like costing me in years, experience, life. Do you know what I mean? Just like, fuck that, man. Do you know what I mean? I want to be out here with my son. I wouldn't care what I had to put up with, as long as I was here for him. Do you know what I mean? But there'll come a point where he'll be able to go and live his own life and all that. You know what I mean? But that's no here. That's not even close yet. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I'm not a hands-on dad. Like, my son can't do nothing without me knowing about it. Um, I'm quite. No, I don't want to say overprotective, but I do fucking keep tabs on him. Like, I phone him every hour. Where are you? Who you with? Like, if he goes out, do you know what I mean? But I don't let him like run about the streets and act like a wee Ned. Know what I mean? Because, and I dare say, if I hadn't came out when I did, who's to say he wouldn't be doing that? So this is what we're saying. It's just like, a lot of people doing it's because there is a breakdown at the home. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody that's got a good fucking home life that's going out doing this shit. Like, why would you? And if they have got a good home life, then I'd be questioning the parenting skills. Do you know what I mean? It's just nae life, man. Do you know what I mean? But it's just it's one of the feels of being a parent, and it's like, see, like all this shit with blades and fucking, even having like a daughter, your daughter walking home at night and all that shit. You know what I mean? You want to know they've got to be safe. Do you know what I mean? Because targeting children is just another level of evil, man. That I don't really want to start getting into it, because it makes me pretty vocal. Must be cunts that watch my channel when I say shit about the can't believe he's like, he's fucking nuts. But I'm just saying what you're thinking, mate. That's it. I'm saying it. You're thinking it. And I'm never ever going to change that. Rehabilitation for pedos or not? No, mate. Just, there's only one thing that can rehabilitate a pedo. You know what I mean? It's not a jail sentence. But anyway, that I was actually coming on to talk about something different today, but because I seen that hang in the paper about the wee guy, man, I was just like, fucking, like, you can't make enough knife crime videos as long as you're sending out the positive message. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll probably always do them every time I see something, because that was such a huge part of my life. I didn't go anywhere without carrying a knife, and I always had to have the biggest one, the biggest fucking meanest. It's like the cunt that walks about, they're all walking about with guns and they've all got revolvers, and this cunt's got a fucking cannon. Know what I'm talking about? And it wasn't and it wasn't to show off. It was just there ain't, if I'm ever walking about and cunts for an scheme try and jump me, one of them's getting this put through them. Know what I mean? That was there was no. I'm not going to dress it up. That's just the mentality I had as a teenager and a young guy. Um, and it's funny now, because knives give me the feel that I don't even like them in my house, and it's not because I'll use them. Do you know what I mean? I just don't like them. Do you know what I mean? I just fucking, it's pretty ironic, innit? But that's that. So anyway, I'm looking into getting this interesting guest on, right? I'll not say who it is, but right, and just wait for the video. But quite interesting stories and shit like that, man. They got in touch with me through email or messenger, fuck knows what it was, but pretty interesting. And it's no a former criminal, funnily enough. But it's crime related, and it works with the channel. So try to set up all this pish, mate, all this fucking, like, because I'd monetised it, but mate, no, it's them, I'm not in the new, man. I just still do it when I do it. It's fucking, it's ball busting, man. I'm not really in a hurry anyway, because at the end of the day, I didn't set out to do this to make money. I just thought fucking it was interesting to do it, do you know what I mean? But all's good, man. So you all have a good night. And I maybe jump on Friday and do a live because the lives were funny, weren't they? See the man that I was sitting getting a cup of beer and that fucking pythons wrecking my chest set and all that. Fucking crazy, wasn't it? But it's doing my nothing with my tablet, my Fire tablet. Because see when I'm trying to like log into YouTube, it's not letting me. It's saying log into the Amazon app, and then when I'm trying to log into the Amazon app, it's not letting me. So fuck knows what's going on, but because I'd rather do it on that. But anyway, fuck it. So anyway, yeah, I'm got to go, and yous all have a good night. I'm got to go and watch Whitechapel on Netflix. I've seen it years ago, right? But I forgot how good it was. It's dead eerie. I like eerie stuff. Um, I suppose it links back to what Jordan Peterson says about staring into the abyss. Well, that was actually Friedrich Nietzsche said that. Stare into the abyss long enough, it starts to look back. And what he means by that is the dark side of humanity. And it starts to look back, but you also, it helps because you realise who you're not. Do you know what I mean? You realise that I realise that I've done daft shit in my life, bad shit in my life, but I'm not evil. And I take comfort for that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's evil bastards out there. Do you know what I mean? But that's another topic for another day. So you all have a good night, right? And I'll see you next time I'm on. Good night.